guy that, one of my best friends, because I can trust that he's going to be honest with his constructive criticism when it's time to listen to the music before it goes out.
Everybody's thinking of doing that type of competition with Eminem. They should stop right away because it's not going to turn out good.
I'm here for the fans. I'm here for everybody who understands me and relates to me, and anybody who don't can kiss I don't care. Do you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care!
If you haven't noticed, there seems to be a full-blown hate campaign against Eminem lately. It's like people who once praised him are suddenly jumping on the bandwagon to tear him down. The negativity surrounding him is pretty wild right now, but in the middle of all this noise, there's one person who isn't having any of it, 50 Cent.
Like, I love him. That's my boy. Like, I put him right behind my grandmother. Wow. Him is your guy. Yeah, because he did the most for me.
We all know that Eminem and 50 have had a tight friendship for years, dating back to when Eminem helped put 50 Cent on the map. Through the ups and downs, their bond has stayed strong, and 50 Cent has always been ready to defend M whenever the industry or critics start taking shots at him. And right now, with Eminem seemingly under fire from all angles, 50's stepping up once again to have his back. So, what exactly has everyone coming after Eminem so hard? Let's break it down. Yesterday, Eminem took a step into the political world, speaking briefly at a rally in his hometown for Vice President Kamala Harris's presidential campaign.
I also think that people shouldn't be afraid to express their opinions. And I don't think anyone wants an America where people are worried about retribution or what people will do if you make your opinion known.
Nothing too dramatic, right? But immediately after, it was like a wave of hate came crashing down on him. Suddenly, people were digging up old stories and rumors, trying to paint him in a negative light. One of the wilder rumors is that Eminem has been a regular attendee at Diddy's notorious parties. And if you've been paying attention to the news lately, you know that being linked to Diddy is a serious red flag right now, given the numerous allegations against him. However, Eminem's loyal fans aren't buying any of it. They've pointed out that if anything, Eminem has been one of the few people in the industry who has openly called out Diddy alongside 50 Cent. While 50 has been vocal about Diddy in interviews and on social media, trolling him in his usual fashion, Eminem's approach has been more subtle, often using his music as a way to air out his thoughts. Remember when Eminem dropped that bombshell in Kill Shot, his diss track aimed at Machine Gun Kelly? Sure, the song was about MGK, but it was that one line about Diddy that left everyone talking. In the track, Eminem raps, "But this idiot's boss pops pills and tells him he's got skills. But Kells, the day you put out a hit's the day Diddy admits that he put the hit out that got Pac killed."
Tells him he's got skills, but Kells, the day you put out a hit's the day Diddy admits that he put the hit out that got Pac killed.
The rap world was shook. Fans couldn't believe that Eminem was implying Diddy might have had something to do with Tupac's death. It was one of those moments that left people stunned, wondering if there was more truth behind the lyrics than just a diss. Fast forward to more recent times, and Eminem took things up a notch on his song Fuel, where he really goes after Diddy with some of his most scathing lines in years. The track, which features JID, is from M's 12th album, The Death of Slim Shady, Coup de Grace, and it's full of sharp jabs. After JID's verse, Eminem takes aim at the recent essay allegations against Diddy, spitting "I'm like a RAPER," clearly leaving out a P on purpose. Then he goes on, "Got so many essays, wait, he didn't just spell the word rapper and leave out a P, did he?" The way he delivers those last three words makes it obvious he's talking about P. Diddy.
We can just say, I'm like an RAPER, got so many essays. Wait, he didn't just spell the word rapper and leave out a P, did he? Yep.
As we all know, Diddy's currently facing multiple lawsuits involving allegations of R and other disturbing charges. In typical Eminem fashion, he doesn't hold back, even offering an RIP to both Biggie and Tupac, but with a sly twist that drags the subject back to Diddy. "I ain't trying to beef with him," Eminem raps, "cause he might put a hit on me like Keffy D did him."
RP, rest in peace, Biggie and Pac, both of y'all should be living, yep, but I ain't trying to beef with him cause he might put a hit on me like Keffy D, get him.
This was a reference to Dwayne Keffy D Davis, who was charged last year with Tupac. Keffy D has claimed in the past that Diddy offered him a cool $1 million to kill Tupac and Suge Knight. But that's not where it ends. There are even more outlandish rumors swirling around Eminem. Some people are now claiming that he was allegedly on Jeffrey Epstein's infamous island list, and that he was close with Ray Chandler, Ghislaine Maxwell's so-called procurement specialist. These accusations are wild, and given what Epstein was accused of, having your name linked to his island puts you at the very bottom of the moral barrel. Epstein cultivated an elite social circle and procured many women and children whom he and his associates essayed. In 2005, police in Palm Beach, Florida began investigating Epstein after a parent reported that he had essayed her 14-year-old daughter. Federal officials identified 36 girls, some as young as 14 years old, whom Epstein had allegedly essayed. Epstein pleaded guilty and was convicted in 2008 by a Florida state court of procuring a for P-word and of soliciting a. He was convicted of only these two crimes as part of a controversial plea deal and served almost 13 months in custody but with extensive work release. Epstein was arrested again on July 6, 2019 on federal charges for the SEX-TFK of Florida and New York. He died in his jail cell on August 10, 2019. The medical examiner ruled that his death was by hanging. But as expected, Eminem's dedicated fans are calling this complete nonsense. They're not buying into these baseless claims. And if that wasn't enough, there are even rumors about Eminem being part of some kind of humiliation ritual because he once dressed up as a woman. Let's take a step back for a second. This all stems from his iconic The Real Slim Shady video back in 2000, where he dressed up like Britney Spears, complete with a blonde wig, schoolgirl outfit, and knee-high stockings.
You're pretty. You are so pretty. Okay.
Listen, I really usually don't do this. This is the first time for me.
Sit me here next to Britney Spears. Christina Aguilera better switch me chairs.
But anyone who's followed Eminem's career knows that he's always been trolling and making fun of pop culture, not taking part in some strange ritual. His fans are quick to point out that this was just another one of M's many satirical moments. But why exactly are people suddenly coming after Eminem? Apparently, it all stems from his outspoken dislike for Trump. If you didn't already know, Eminem has been pretty vocal about his feelings toward Trump and has even dissed him in multiple songs. Eminem's critiques started with the track No Favors, where he delved into issues like racism and police brutality, topics he felt Trump largely ignored when he was president.
Commando, your man don't want it, Trump's a bitch. I make his whole brain go under.
But it didn't stop there. Eminem really laid into Trump in a later freestyle, detailing his grievances with the former president's policies and actions. Interestingly, Trump never publicly responded to any of Eminem's jabs.
Racism's the only thing he's fantastic for, because that's how he gets his rocks off and he's orange.
The rapper's outspoken lyrics, particularly in the song Framed, which mentioned Trump and his daughter Ivanka, even caught the attention of the Secret Service in 2018.
How the is Ivanka Trump in the trunk of my car?
According to BuzzFeed, which obtained documents from the agency, the Secret Service interviewed Eminem to determine if his lyrics posed a genuine threat to the president and his family. The documents were heavily redacted, and after the interrogation, the Secret Service opted not to pursue the matter further with the prosecutors. Still, the hate campaign continues, with some people even going as far as saying they'll never listen to Eminem's music again. But his real fans? Completely unfazed. And standing firmly by their side is none other than 50 Cent. As mentioned earlier, the friendship between 50 Cent and Eminem has been rock solid for years, and it's clear they've always had each other's backs. Their story goes way back, and it's a big reason why 50 Cent remains so fiercely loyal to Eminem. After 50 survived being shot 9 times in 2000, no label wanted to touch him because of his bad reputation, especially after dropping How to Rob, where he called out half the industry.
See you again, then down to the nearest ATM. I have dreams of.
On top of that, he already had beef with Ja Rule. Speaking of Ja Rule, the whole thing kicked off in 1999 when Ja was robbed at gunpoint in Queens by someone allegedly connected to 50 Cent. Not long after, they had a run-in at a club, and Ja supposedly gave 50 the cold shoulder, leading to what was probably just a misunderstanding. But soon after that, 50 dropped a diss track called Life's on the Line, firing the first shot in what would become one of the most legendary beefs in hip-hop. Things escalated the following year in 2000 when 50 and Ja Rule's paths crossed again, this time in Atlanta. Both were booked to perform at the same club, and it ended in a physical altercation. Later that year, 50 was stabbed during an altercation with Ja Rule's Murder Inc. crew at Hit Factory Studios in New York. At that point, 50 Cent had made plenty of enemies, and no label wanted to sign him. Frustrated, 50 started working on mixtapes with the help of producer Shaw Money XL. The hustle was real, and soon enough, 50's music made its way to Detroit, landing in the hands of none other than Eminem. Slim Shady couldn't stop playing 50's tracks and was blown away by what he heard.
Dre heard it. He was sold. And basically we said, let's
let's do a joint venture.
In an interview, 50 Cent said, "I'm on the dream team now. I've got two of the coolest bodyguards, Dr. Dre and Eminem." Eminem played a crucial role in getting 50 Cent signed to a record deal. The arrangement was a joint venture between Eminem's Shady Records and Dr. Dre's Aftermath Records under the umbrella of Interscope Records. For 50, it was the perfect scenario. Not only did he have both Eminem and Dr. Dre backing him, but they were also hands-on in the studio, helping to shape his sound. In 2002, 50 Cent was featured on a track for the movie 8 Mile called Rap Game, giving him even more exposure. Then in 2003, 50 dropped his iconic album Get Rich or Die Tryin', with Eminem featured on 2 tracks. One of the standout songs, Patiently Waiting, had 50 calling Eminem his favorite white boy. Eminem even made a cameo in 50's legendary Indie Club music video, further solidifying their bond. In return, 50 Cent paid tribute to his friend, shouting him out in his lyrics.
20 deep, so it's drama in the club. Now that I roll with Dre, everybody show me love.
As Eminem and 50 Cent began performing together, their bond only grew stronger. At the same time, 50 Cent's feud with Ja Rule was in full swing. But things took an interesting turn when Ja Rule found himself a new target, Eminem. Ja was furious that Eminem had signed 50 Cent to Shady Records, and to make matters worse, Ja Rule crossed a line by mentioning Marshall's daughter, Haley, in a diss track.
You claim your mother's a crackhead and Kim is a known so what's Haley gonna be when she grows up?
As expected, Eminem didn't take that lightly. In response, he dropped Haley's Revenge, where we even hear a conversation between him and his daughter.
Daddy, is Ja Rule taller than me?
No, honey, you guys are the same size.
But that wasn't the end of it. Eminem and 50 teamed up for another diss track aimed at Ja Rule, this time delivering the savage Hail Mary. In this track, they didn't just diss Ja, they taunted him for never being able to live up to the legacy of Tupac, a painful blow considering Ja Rule's aspirations to be the next big thing in hip-hop. Between 2002 and 2008, however, Eminem was fighting a different kind of battle, one with drug addiction. His struggle escalated after the tragic death of his best friend Proof in 2006. Losing Proof was a massive emotional blow for Eminem, and it became the perfect excuse to dive even deeper into his addiction. At one point, his health had deteriorated so much that he gained a significant amount of weight, tipping the scales at 230 pounds while standing only 5'8". In one memorable moment, Eminem recalled just how bad things got during this period, particularly when he was on 106 in Park with 50 Cent and G-Unit, while they were performing You Don't Know. Eminem was so out of it that he couldn't even understand what the host was saying during the interview afterward. 50 had to jump in and answer all the questions, essentially saving the day.
I actually need him to make my music. So he'd be.
Me and 50 have 3 songs together. There's 3 songs together, and we have.
Eminem's addiction was spiraling out of control. He later shared how a doctor he knew had prescribed him some pills, and after taking just one, he felt amazing all day. But like many addicts, one was never enough. After putting his kids to bed, he'd take another, then another, and it still wasn't enough. At one point, he took so many that he overdosed on methadone. Luckily, he managed to call an ambulance just in time. But even that near-death experience wasn't enough to make him stop.
The doctors who arrived diagnosed him with an overdose of methadone.
Had I got to the hospital about 2 hours later, I would have died.
A week after leaving the hospital, he was back on drugs, and doctors were already predicting that he wouldn't make it through the month. Every morning, he woke up thinking that his time was running out. After he finally completed rehab, Eminem dropped Relapse, an album that featured 50 Cent on the track Crack a Bottle. 50 later revealed that M had plans to release Relapse 2, but eventually scrapped the idea. One of the songs that was meant to be on that project, Is This Love, ended up being a standout track. In an interview, 50 Cent spoke about how important Eminem is to the culture of hip-hop, saying, "I think Eminem is more important to hip-hop than people actually credit him for." The two have a mutual respect and understanding that goes beyond just music. They know how to lift each other up during tough times too. 50 once recalled a moment when he was hospitalized for food poisoning after eating a burger. He felt absolutely terrible, and out of nowhere Eminem called him. But instead of sympathy, M cracked a joke that made 50 burst out laughing. Eminem said, "Yo, Fif, if you were shot 9 times and you die over a burger, this asterisk to ain't gonna go right. People ain't gonna be feeling this." It was exactly what 50 needed to hear at that moment. A reminder that nothing, not even food poisoning, could take him down. In 2015, both Eminem and 50 were offered the chance to be a part of the Furious 7 soundtrack with the song See You Again, which ultimately became a massive hit for Wiz Khalifa and Charlie Puth. However, the two had to turn it down because of Eminem's involvement in the Southpaw movie soundtrack, which he was heavily invested in at the time. 50 later reflected on that decision, acknowledging that See You Again was a huge success, but they chose to stay committed to Southpaw, a project that meant a lot to M. Throughout the years, the loyalty between Eminem and 50 Cent has been undeniable. When Eminem famously dissed Donald Trump in a viral freestyle, 50 Cent was quick to show his support on Instagram, posting, "Still #1, love you M, you my friend for life." In 2018, Eminem's beef with Machine Gun Kelly, MGK, became one of the loudest and most talked about conflicts in hip-hop. When Eminem dropped his response to MGK with the track Kill Shot, 50 Cent naturally had his back, showing support for his longtime friend. 50 wasn't just vocal about it, he made sure everyone knew whose side he was on. Their loyalty has always been on display, and it didn't stop there. In 2019, the duo teamed up with Ed Sheeran for the track Remember the Name, which brought together their unique styles for a memorable collaboration. Fast forward to 2020 when Eminem returned the favor by supporting 50 Cent at his Hollywood Walk of Fame star ceremony. During the event, Eminem gave a heartfelt and emotional speech, reflecting on their journey together and the bond they had built over the years.
And he's also helped me through a lot of hard times in my own life, and he's always been there when I need him. So 50, congrats on your star, man. Hollywood is making official what I knew from the beginning and Dre knew from the beginning.
In 2021, 50 Cent took on the role of producer for the crime drama series Black Mafia Family, which is based on the real-life story of a drug trafficking and money laundering organization. Being 50 Cent, he couldn't help but involve Eminem in the project, and he asked him to play the character of White Boy Rick. But convincing Eminem wasn't easy. In an interview, 50 Cent revealed that Eminem was hesitant to take part in the series because of his difficult experience filming 8 Mile. That movie had coincided with one of the darkest periods in Eminem's life, when he struggled with drug addiction. However, after some convincing, M eventually agreed to the role, showing once again how much he trusted 50. Then, in 2022, following the show, representatives from the World Cup even reached out, inviting Eminem and 50 Cent to perform at the global event. The offer came with a hefty budget of $9 million, with $8 million going to Eminem and $1 million to 50 Cent. But in a surprising move, Eminem declined the offer. Whether it was the timing or his reluctance to take on such a massive event, his decision showed once again that their friendship was never about the money. These moments highlight the bond that 50 Cent and Eminem share, a friendship built on trust, loyalty, and mutual support. It's why 50 Cent is always quick to defend Eminem whenever the industry tries to come for him.